What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We're still doing 3 videos a week on this channel right now. And if you guys are new to it, the goal of this channel is to help you guys catch more bass. So please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the channel. Okay, so this video here today, this is taking me a little bit of time. You know, this is taking some thinking, some reflecting, some processing to really kind of process what went down this year on the Bass Pro Tour. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, you know, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I hated, what I loved, all of those things about the 2025 season on the Bass Pro Tour coming up in this video. So let's just jump right in. You know, overall, it was a mediocre season in my eyes. You know, I did not perform the way I wanted to in, you know, the end of the season for sure. You know, we got off to a rough start at Conroe, but then we had 3 top 10s in a row at the Harris Chain, Murray, and Chickamauga/Nickajack. So we had 3 good tournaments in a row. We were all the way up to 3rd place in Angler of the Year, and things were flowing good. And then from there, you know, the things just kind of went downhill the rest of the season as far as tournament finishes go. You know, we ended up with a tough one at Kentucky Lake, a tough one at Potomac, and finished the season with another tough one at Saginaw Bay. So overall, you know, looking at the point standings, looking at the results, I finished up 20th place in the points. So obviously there's a lot to be thankful for. You know, we finished up 20th place. We made Red Crest in 2026. We made Heavy Hitters in 2026. So the season was definitely a success, but in my eyes, you know, we definitely should have finished higher in those standings. We had the start to do it, you know, through the first 4 events. We were in 3rd place in Angler of the Year, and, you know, had some positive momentum and was looking forward to the second half of the season and continuing to climb up that ladder. But we ended up just snowballing down to 20th place. So don't get me wrong, 20th place, it's a great AOI finish against this group of hammers, but I kind of hold myself to a higher standard. So you know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, I've been thinking about what did I do wrong or things I could have done differently, kind of questioning some decisions I made. And honestly, I don't feel like I've made any bad decisions, even in those events that, you know, didn't quite work out the way that I wanted on paper. You know, I'm not going to sit here and make any excuses for you guys. You guys know that I own it when I do not catch them. And, we did not make the proper adjustments, did not find them in practice, or things just did not work out for us during the tournament. So I have no excuses. And honestly, going back, there's not a whole lot that I would change. I would really fish those events pretty much the same way that I went through them. You know, I don't think I was ever on the wrong pattern or the wrong bite. Things just didn't quite work out. And sometimes that's going to happen. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. And having these last few tournaments, you know, be a little bit tougher, kind of finish the season tougher, it definitely, sorry about that. It definitely makes me appreciate the good tournaments a lot more. You know, I probably needed a little humbling. You know, everybody needs that once in a while. It's healthy for everyone to kind of go through the struggles after you've ridden the, you know, I felt like we were on a really good streak of a couple, 3, 4, 5 years of tournaments. To have a few tough ones in a row, it's humbling, and that's good for everyone. So I'm actually kind of thankful to struggle those. It's given me a new perspective on things and really thought through and really rejuvenated me for you know, the 2026 season. So overall, you know, I hate that I finished 20th place. You know, that was not my favorite thing of the year, but it's a good thing to struggle once in a while. It really makes you appreciate those good times when they are there. So that was one of the things that, was not my favorite about the year. But let's dive into the format. So, this was the first year with the 1 period of live scope and 2 periods without. So with that, it was a learning curve all year long. We were continuing to learn every single tournament about timing, strategy, all that. So nobody really knew what to expect heading into this season. And that was actually a really cool part of the year. I felt like it was a huge success. So really, it's up to you guys, the fans. So what did you guys think of the format this year? Did you like it? Did you love it? I know I loved fishing it. It really opened up a lot more techniques. It opened up a lot more options to catch fish. That kind of goes into the same thing as techniques, but you don't have to get so narrow-minded and focused on one thing. You got to have multiple different patterns running. For me, that was a big thing that I tried to focus on this year. For most of the events, I would have an area where I would use my live scope and then an area where I would fish without it. 2 different patterns. And some of the events it worked out where you could fish for those same fish using it and not using it. Obviously the Saginaw Bay and Potomac River forward facing didn't come into play at all, so it didn't matter at all. But, like Kentucky Lake is one where you could fish those schools of fish using it and then turn it off and still fish for those same groups of fish. But, it kind of slowed the pace down in some of the events. If you look at like Conroe or Lake Murray, if we were able to use the sonar all day long, the results would look a little bit different. The weights would have been a lot higher. The pace would have stayed a little bit faster all day long rather than slowing it down and having to use an alternate technique. So I really loved that format. It was fun for me. I enjoyed, utilizing different baits, catching them on braid and a frog and a swim jig and, crankbaits, spinner baits, all different baits that we haven't really seen the last few years. So that was one big thing that I loved this season on the Bass Pro Tour. Obviously, one of my other favorite moments, I am choking on some almonds. That's bad. So one of the other favorite moments, obviously, was the roommates getting wins. So Drew won at Lake Murray, and then Jake won at Nickajack in a buzzer beater fashion. So that, honestly, that's one of the best moments of the year, I feel like, for the entire Bass Pro Tour, was that exciting finish at Lake Nickajack. It really showed off the Bass Pro Tour format with every fish counts. And I felt like it was a huge win for Major League Fishing and the Bass Pro Tour, and it was really cool to see Jake get the win there. So 2 of the roommates got wins this year, and Spencer and I are sucking it up, not getting any trophies this year. So maybe we'll pick one up in the team series here coming up soon. But overall, I felt like it was a successful year for Major League Fishing and the Bass Pro Tour. I felt like it was a great season, and looking forward to 2026. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me those likes and comments down below. I'm curious your thoughts. What did you guys think of the season? Make sure to drop that in the comments down below and let us know. As always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time.